Stay on the court. Let's take it to Warriors versus Jazz. The Warriors are coming off a season-low 83 points, 9 threes, a loss at Timberwolves threes. Not an issue early, especially if your first and last name are Steph Curry. Creates space in the corner, drills the three, makes it look easy, as always. Buddy Hield also had a three. Warriors up 45-29. Moses Moody joins in from long range. It's contagious. Moody and Hield each had 3 threes in the first half. Warriors still up on this one. Some ball movement here, leading to Quentin Post for the three. 15 first half threes for the Warriors. That's how you come back from that. It's their most and a half this season. They lead by quite a lot at the break. Up by only 8, though, here in the fourth quarter. Finding Draymond Green, also gets the three. Curry drives to the hoop and throws the contact, gets it to drop. And with the tough take, finishes with 27. Warriors set their season high for scoring with 142-124 win.
Golden State and Minnesota are among the teams with the strongest interest in Antetokounmpo so far in this process. And the Bucks are getting plenty of aggressive offers for Giannis, and they're going to sift through those this week and next week. They've also informed teams that they are not in a rush. They could take this into next summer. Any team that wants to trade for him will have to know if he's going to be there long term. They're going to give up the assets necessary for the 10-time All-Star.
All right, well, just a reminder on who we're talking about here. Giannis Antetokounmpo is the only player to average 25 points, 10 rebounds, and 5 assists per 36 minutes for his career since minutes were first tracked in the 1951.
On the East Coast, we're technically a week away from the NBA's trade deadline day. West Coast, depending on which re-air you're watching, you are too. Regardless of where we are on the timeline, though, the biggest piece that could potentially move is Giannis Antetokounmpo. The Bucks, for now, superstar, is reportedly ready for a new home after a long saga of is he or is he not requesting a trade. Milwaukee's also willing to wait till the offseason for the right deal. All of this, according to the reporting of one senior NBA insider, Shams Charania, who joins us now. This is a 10-time All-Star, 2-time MVP, Shams. Knowing the price tag will be high, who has the highest potential to land Giannis?
So, Trev, let's start with that price tag. And sources tell me that the Bucks have indicated to rival teams that they want a blue-chip young talent back in return, as well as a surplus of draft picks. So some combination of both of those things. And so I'm told Miami, New York, Golden State, and Minnesota are among the teams with the strongest interest in Antetokounmpo so far in this process. And the Bucks are getting plenty of aggressive offers for Giannis, and they're going to sift through those this week and next week. They are all ears and listening to these offers. They've also informed teams that they are not in a rush. They could take this into next summer. But one thing to keep in mind here, Trevor, is that Giannis will essentially be on an expiring contract next season. He has a player option in 2027. So that means if the Bucks do take this to the offseason, that gives Giannis a little bit more leverage and a little bit more control, dictating exactly where he wants to go, because he's going to be an expiring contract. Any team that wants to trade for him will have to know if he's going to be there long term. They're going to give up the assets necessary for the 10-time All-Star.
But he has also been very critical of his team's efforts more recently. My good sis, Chiney Ogumike, NBA analyst, now joins me. So, Chiney, where would you like to see Giannis end up?
Look, I know we're coming off of a football segment, and I know the actual Super Bowl is in 11 days. But for NBA teams, NBA fans, the Super Bowl has arrived early because of Giannis being available to make a change to help bring a team over the championship edge. And I love this. Where would I like to see? Golden State better be picking up the phone. Actually, not even that. They better be FaceTiming Christine because they need help right now. If the goal is to protect Steph Curry's prime, I believe he is probably the only person, in my opinion, that is clearly safe on the roster. Do whatever you can to get Giannis Antetokounmpo, because they would make one of the best inside-outside punches. Giannis is a 31-year-old, 2-time MVP who averages, the last few years, 30 and 12 on 60% shooting. I'm looking at Golden State saying, oh, we might actually need to make this move to see if we can squeeze one more championship out of the greatest shooter we have ever seen in Steph Curry. So I keep my eye on Golden State.
I like that.
This is one of those moments where being a Warriors fan feels different from being any other fan in the league. Because while the rest of the NBA is talking about timelines, rebuilds, and the future, Dub Nation is watching Stephen Curry still walk into arenas and control the entire game like time doesn't apply to him. And that's why this conversation is getting serious right now. Not next summer, not 2 years from now. Right now. Look at what's happening in front of us. Steph is creeping toward 40, and yet he's still putting up elite performances, still drawing double teams, still bending defenses just by crossing half court. This isn't a farewell tour. This is a superstar who is still playing at a championship level, and the idea of letting this era quietly fade without one last real push should honestly be unacceptable for a franchise like Golden State. You don't get players like this twice. You don't get windows like this twice. When number 30 is still playing like this, the only logical move is to go all in. And that's why the Warriors cannot afford to sit still at this trade deadline. The league is already shaking with rumors, Giannis possibly being on the move, Golden State being named as one of the teams in the mix. That alone tells you how the NBA still views this franchise. Even after all these years, even after all the banners, the Warriors are still treated as a destination that can change the entire landscape with one decision. And that's the key word here, decision. Because this front office has a choice to make. Protect the future or maximize the present while Steph Curry is still Steph Curry. But here's the part that makes this even more interesting. This isn't just about chasing the biggest name on the market. This is about finding the right piece that actually fits the Warriors system. And that's where a name like Michael Porter Jr. becomes impossible to ignore. Michael Porter Jr. makes too much sense for Golden State. A walking bucket, a pure shot maker, a player who can score at all three levels and doesn't need the ball glued to his hands to be effective. He's averaging over 25 points per game, nearly 8 rebounds, shooting efficiently from the field and almost 40% from three. That is exactly what this roster needs. Someone who can punish defenses when they load up on Steph. Someone who can space the floor, attack mismatches, and actually give the Warriors a second elite scoring threat without breaking the system. This is the type of move that doesn't just look good on a trade machine, it looks good on the court. Porter fits the motion offense, he fits the spacing, he fits the unselfish style, and most importantly, he fits the urgency of this moment. Because the Warriors don't need another developmental project. They need production. They need points. They need someone who can take pressure off Curry in playoff possessions. And that's the real conversation the league isn't having loudly enough. This isn't about nostalgia. This isn't about legacy tours. This is about reality. The reality is that Steph Curry is still good enough to lead a championship team. The reality is that the Warriors still have a system, a culture, and a fan base built for winning. And the reality is that doing nothing right now would be more dangerous than making a bold move. Because every year you wait is a year you don't get back. This front office has always been at its best when it's aggressive but smart, when it doesn't panic but also doesn't hide behind comfort. The Warriors dynasty wasn't built by playing it safe. It was built by taking risks, trusting the system, and surrounding Steph with players who amplify his greatness instead of forcing him to carry everything alone. That's why this deadline feels different. It's not about desperation. It's about respect. Respect for what Curry has given this franchise, respect for what he's still doing on the floor, and respect for the fact that championships are rare, fragile, and only possible when you actually commit to the moment. Whether it's a blockbuster like Giannis or a perfect fit scorer like Michael Porter Jr., the message should be clear. Golden State cannot let the end of the Curry era go out quietly, not with this level of play. Not with this much history, not with this much belief still alive in the building. Dub Nation, this is the window. This is the crossroads. Either you protect tomorrow and risk wasting today, or you honor today and give yourself one more real shot at something special. And if you ask me, when Steph Curry is still walking into arenas and controlling games like this, the answer is simple. Go get him help. Go get him one more run. Go chase ring number 5. Now, I want to hear from you. Should the Warriors make a big move right now? Is Michael Porter Jr. the perfect fit, or should Golden State swing even bigger? Drop your opinion in the comments, hit like if you believe in one more championship run, and subscribe to Warriors Nation News, because this deadline is about to define the entire future of this franchise.